When you get a feeling that something is wrong or something isn't right, don't doubt your intuition, because your intuition is usually correct. But it just requires you to strive and dig into the matter to know the truth. And that's what happened to me. I am Alaa, married and have 2 daughters, thank God. I am diligent in my work and I even got a promotion. A short while ago, I was transferred to the company's branch in Daki. My wife was very happy with this news. But when she knew I was going to move and live there, she got angry. She said to me, "What does this mean, Alaa? Are you going to leave me and your daughters and go live away from us? So will you come back for vacations or what's the plan?" I don't know yet, honestly, Manar. Look, the company told me they would provide housing with some friends. But I am thinking that we all move and live there together. We are renting here, and we will be renting there too. What do you think? Manar went quiet for a while. She was thinking, but after a few seconds she replied to me and said, "Well, that's not a bad idea. It won't make much difference to the girls anyway. I'll just enroll them in a nursery there instead of their current ones. But the whole moving process needs a lot of time and effort, and it also needs money. As for money, it will truly cost us a decent amount, but no problem. The important thing is that we stay together. My salary will increase, hopefully, and I will be able to cover the housing and home expenses." I knew this was a reckless decision, because the rent of the apartment we live in would surely be less than an apartment in Daki. This is because the area we will live in has expensive rents, as it is an upscale neighborhood. But I said no problem. Everything is worth it just to be near my wife and children. And we actually got a place in Daki. The building was in good condition. It wasn't old or falling apart like the one we were in. We rented on the 7th floor, which was the second to last floor. When we put our things in the apartment, I found my wife open the balcony and looked out, saying, "Honestly, Alaa, you don't know how happy I am with this new place. Even though I was scared and worried while we were moving, and I said we would never find a good place. But honestly, this is much better than the one we were living in." "You're right, but we are paying a lot for it too. Anyway, let's get to it so I can help you arrange the apartment so you don't get tired by yourself." I helped her and we arranged everything. It was a very long and exhausting day. After a while, I went down to get something for us to eat. I was still exploring the place. I kept walking until I found a restaurant. I bought meals for us from there and headed back. But on my way, I was exploring the place around me. The streets were very quiet and empty. When I reached the building, I didn't find the doorman there. I was surprised because he was just here half an hour ago. But I brushed it off and called the elevator. I am sure I pressed for the 7th floor, but I was shocked when I found it stopped at the 8th. I got out of the elevator and it closed. I looked at the floor, it was the 8th floor. I was wondering why the elevator brought me all the way here. I was standing in front of one of the 2 apartments up there. Suddenly I heard the sound of something breaking. The sound made a very loud noise. I was shocked I didn't know what that was. After a few seconds, I heard someone screaming. The sound of the screaming and crying started to increase. I didn't understand what was happening. I went down quickly to my apartment feeling scared. I knocked on the door, and when my wife opened it and saw me so upset, she spoke and said, "What's wrong, Alaa? Why are you so late? And what's wrong with you? You look so tense." I sat on the chair while still tense, and it was very obvious on me. Did you take the stairs or something? Why didn't you take the elevator? It would have been easier than walking up all those stairs. No, I took the elevator, but something very strange happened to me, Manar. The elevator took me to the 8th floor, even though I asked for the 7th. And when I stood in front of the door of the apartment right above us, I heard someone screaming. And before that, something breaking. Honestly, I wanted to help. If those neighbors have a problem or something. But I didn't know what to do and just came down. How could you just leave them? Alaa? Maybe they're fighting. Let's go up and check on them. No, go up where? You stay here. I'm not comfortable with us going up together. A problem might happen, or the worst, God forbid. Right, fine, as you like. Anyway, let's eat first because the girls are very hungry. I was just about to call you, but then you arrived. In the name of God, with God's blessing, let's start the episode. In the name of God. The episode is a new story and a new experience from our series of listeners. Experiences and tales, your tales. Let's start today's episode and say in the name of God. Manar and the girls sat down to eat. As for me, I was sitting with them, but my mind was elsewhere. Wasn't focused on anything at all except for the sound. The sound I heard up there. I was worried that something might have happened to someone. After the meal, my wife made us 2 cups of tea. But suddenly the power went out, and the girls were startled. But I quickly turned on the flashlight, and I told them, "Don't worry, my dears. The lights will come back, God willing, in a little while. Bring your toys and come sit and play here next to us." The girls started playing, and Manar, I found her after a while, had fallen asleep on the sofa. It wasn't even half an hour before the power came back on. Time passed and the girls had fallen asleep, so I took them to their rooms. As for me, I couldn't get any sleep. After a while, I heard a knock at the door. Went to open the door and found a woman standing there, looking very disheveled. She was wearing a white galabaya and her hair was messy. I found her pleading with me, saying, "Excuse me, sir, could you help me? If your wife is there, could you let her come and help me? Because I'm bleeding and it looks like I'm having a miscarriage." "Okay, all right. Where exactly is your apartment? I'll wake my wife and we'll be right there." "I'm in the apartment right above you. Please, for God's sake, don't let her be late." I went in quickly to wake my wife. I could see that strange woman standing, leaning on the stair railing. And before going in, I noticed there was blood on her legs. I was so stressed and didn't know what to do. Quickly woke my wife up, and I said to her, Manar, get up, quickly. There's a woman outside, she's ill and bleeding. Looks like she's having a miscarriage. Come quickly to help her, because it looks like she's alone." Manar woke up worried and didn't understand anything. But I quickly told her what happened, and she came with me right away. But when we went out, we found the door still open, just as it was. But the woman wasn't on the stairs anymore. Manar was surprised and said to me, "Where is she, Alaa? Are you imagining things or what?" "No, of course not. What do you mean imagining things? The woman was right there minutes ago. I didn't take any time at all. I just went in to wake you and came right back up. Maybe she went up to her apartment. Let's go look for her, hopefully we'll find her. I hope we can help her." Manar and I went up to the apartment above us. We kept knocking for a long time, but no one answered. Manar was very confused by what I told her. That's why she spoke and said, Where is this woman, Alaa? Are you confused or something? Are you sure she said the top floor? Yes, I swear, Manar. She said the apartment right above us. Wait, maybe it's the apartment on the right. But I'm sure of what I said, and I'm not imagining things. We kept knocking on the 2 apartments on the 8th floor, but no one answered, so we went back down to our place. When I sat with Manar, I talked to her and said, is it possible for all this confusion to happen on the first day? I told you the elevator reached the 8th floor, right? And I heard strange sounds after I brought the food back. Then the woman who knocked on my door asked for help and then disappeared. What does all of this mean? It means you look exhausted, my dear, from the work pressure and the hassle these past 2 days. Come on, go to sleep and rest a little, because you have work early. All of this could just be hallucinations. No, of course not, Manar. What do you mean hallucinations? I am sure of what I am telling you. How could I have imagined this whole situation? I told you exactly how I saw her. She was a young woman, looked like she was in her 20s, wearing a white galabea, and her hair was messy, and there was blood on her legs too, and she looked very exhausted. It really was like she was having a miscarriage. Even if you don't believe me, we can ask the doorman tomorrow and find out who actually lives in this building, and then we'll know where her apartment is. My wife thought I was just saying things for no reason, but unfortunately, I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I tried to sleep, I remembered the woman looking tired and pleading for my help. I didn't know why there were such strange things going on in the building from the very first. Anyway, the next day I changed my clothes and headed to work so I wouldn't be late. On my way, I met the doorman returning to the building. It looked like he was bringing breakfast. I stopped to greet him. Then I said, by the way, Mr. Mohsin, who lives in the building with us on the 8th floor, the apartment right above ours. There is no one at all on the 8th floor, sir. You are the last ones living on the 7th floor. But why? Is something wrong or what? How can that be? You mean those 2 apartments above us are completely empty? I actually saw one of the residents yesterday. She told me she was on the floor above, and I also heard something, like things breaking and someone screaming. Are you sure, Mr. Mohsin, that no one lives above us? I swear, Mr. Alaa, there is absolutely no one living above you. Then how could that be? You say I heard people screaming, and someone even living upstairs on the 8th floor. Seems you got the floor mixed up or something. Sir. When I heard that, I felt like the world was spinning around me. What do you mean no one lives above us? Does that mean I'm just making it up? Am I hallucinating or what? No, that's impossible. It was real. As for Mohsin, I found him wondering why I was so lost in thought, and he said, "What's wrong, Mr. Alaa? Where did you go?" "I'm talking to you." No, nothing at all, Mr. Mohsin. Anyway, go back to your work, and may God help you. See you later. I left him and went on my way. As I was thinking, I couldn't reach any explanation. I felt like I hadn't been comfortable since the first day I entered the building because of what happened. But I couldn't find any explanation for what occurred. I spent the day at work unfocused on anything until the shift was over, and I returned at the end of the day. I was returning while trying to calm my mind from the thoughts inside it. I called the elevator to the 7th floor, and thank God it dropped me off in front of my apartment this time. I tried to focus on any sound from above, but I couldn't hear anything. That day passed quickly and I didn't even notice it. But at night I found my wife saying to me, "So Alaa, how are you doing now? I hope you're okay." "I'm fine, thank God, Manar. Anyway, how are you and the girls? And how was your day today?" "The girls wore me out, I was busy helping them study and they exhausted me. Starting tomorrow, God willing, I want to look for good daycare for them and have it be close to the house. But don't worry about this, I'll take care of it. And we spent some time together. And after that, Manar got up to make us some popcorn and we sat down to watch a movie. At that moment, I said I'd stand on the balcony to relax. I was standing there scrolling on my phone and focused. Suddenly, I found water pouring down from above. At first, I thought it was raining. But when I looked up, I saw someone dangling a bottle over the railing, and it was what was causing that water to fall. I was very surprised and called out to Manar to see what I was seeing. But unfortunately, by the time she came, she didn't see anything. The water had already disappeared. That's when I said I had to go up and see what was happening. Even though Manar tried to stop me, I was determined to go. I went up, taking one hesitant step after another. I felt like I was going to see something shocking upstairs, or something I wasn't mentally prepared for. But I was surprised to find the same woman who had been bleeding, the one who asked for my help, sitting on the stairs, and she looked like she had been crying. So I asked her in surprise, "Where were you when I came to help you? I was only gone for 2 minutes, and when I came back, you weren't standing there. Do you need any help?" She looked at me and didn't answer, but her tears showed how heartbroken and upset she was. I noticed her eyes expressing the pain she was in, so I repeated my question to her again, and I said, "How can I help you? Are you all right? If you're hurt, we should take you to the hospital." She looked at the door and gestured for me to go back down. I didn't understand what she meant, but after a while I heard my wife calling me. I looked down to answer her, and as soon as I turned back around, the woman sitting there was gone. I felt the air start to get cold, and I saw the bulb on the floor flickering. The light was blinking on and off, and I could hear heavy footsteps up on the roof. I was terrified and didn't know what to do. I ran down to my apartment, my heart pounding from the shock. What is happening to me? This is not normal at all. I knew that if I told my wife something like this, she wouldn't believe me. But I decided to tell her anyway. And I actually told her everything that happened to me. After I finished, she said, No, Alaa. Your condition shouldn't be ignored. What is going on with you? Could this all be the effect of fatigue and the stress you're under? It looks like you've been working too hard, my love. The most important thing is that you rest, and God willing, everything will be fine. Manar, I want you to understand me. It's not work stress or because we just moved. I am actually seeing a strange woman. I don't even understand what's wrong with her, but she looks beaten and like she's been crying. I never know how to help her anyway. And when I try to talk to her, I find she has disappeared. How do you explain that? She didn't know what to answer. And that day, I couldn't sleep either. I stayed in this state for 2 days in a row. My sleep is broken. Even when I do sleep, I have so many nightmares. I needed to talk to someone about this. Someone who would understand without judging me or saying imagining things. So I actually called my friend Amir. I thought I'd get his opinion on what's happening. When I told him everything I'm going through, he said, of course, "This isn't normal, Alaa. You have to ask one of the neighbors about that woman you keep mentioning you see. And since you say she disappears right after, there must be something behind it. But take care of yourself, your wife, and your daughters. Don't let them go out ever or go anywhere." You don't know how much this is consuming me, Amir. I'm under pressure all the time, and I feel like I'm in a whirlpool. Very strange things happen to me that I don't even tell my wife about every day. Ty, at night at the same time I find the power goes out. Exactly at 2 a.m. Manar is fast asleep then. She and the girls too, and they don't feel a thing. And when I try to go up in the elevator, it breaks down on me. When I press my floor button, it doesn't come. It always takes me up to the 8th floor. I feel like these are all signs of something, but I still don't understand them yet. When I was saying this to Amir, I felt he was confused. His facial expressions showed that he almost didn't believe me, but I found that he felt for me and tried to comfort me. He advised me not to dwell on everything so I wouldn't get worn out. And he also advised me to ask about the neighbor woman who I say lives with us. I went back and asked the doorman about her then, and he told me, "Honestly, sir, I only came to this building about a year ago, and I was working as a doorman in another area. And from what I know, there is no one living above you." I told myself I would ask any of the residents, and I actually asked Mr. Remy and his wife who lived on the 5th floor. I asked them one day when they were in the elevator with me. "Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I have a quick question, if I'm not bothering you. I'm Alaa. I live on the 7th floor. I just rented the apartment a short while ago, but I think there are people living on the 8th floor, right? Because I keep hearing lots of noises and movement all the time above our apartment." I felt they were surprised by my words, and Mr. Remy replied, "Actually, no one lives above. There were tenants there about 2 months ago, but they moved out. It's strange you hear noises. Are you sure about that?" When I heard Mr. Remy's words, I froze in my place. I also didn't tell him about the strange woman who asked for my help, or what I saw the past 2 days. But I tried to control my nerves and said to him, "You're saying there were people living there who left 2 months ago, right? Were they a family or was someone living alone?" I felt then that Mr. Remy didn't want to answer me. He tried to change the subject, but his wife replied and said, "No, it was just him and his wife, and after a while, they moved out of the apartment. His wife passed away, and since then no one has lived on the 8th floor. And honestly, we didn't have a relationship with them, just a casual hello now and then, But is everything okay? Is there something you need? Is there anything you need help with?" At that moment, I politely ended the conversation with them and thanked them for their answer. But I was determined to ask around. I had to know more details. Even though I keep to myself and don't get involved with anyone, I insisted on knowing the story, because my mind wouldn't stop thinking about this whole thing. I asked our neighbor who lived on the same floor in the apartment opposite ours, and she confirmed what Mr. Remy and his wife said. "Honestly, Mr. Alaa, I will tell you what I know. The apartment upstairs did have people living in it, but they were always having arguments and problems, and no one would intervene because, well, they were married, and these are natural problems that can happen between anyone. But one day we heard a loud noise and screaming, and after that we learned that the woman had passed away. May God have mercy on her. She was pregnant and nearing her due date. But when the doctor came and examined her, he said she had depression and had committed suicide. The matter was closed from that moment on, and no one spoke about anything." When I heard this from her and learned that the husband had moved away and no one even knew where he was, I thought, it's very strange for a young woman in her 20s, like you said, to end her life this way. Well, didn't you find out how she died? How did she actually commit suicide? I was shocked when I learned from her that they had found the balcony glass broken, and they say she threw herself off the balcony. That day was a very big deal. But the police investigated the matter and said that she was the one who actually threw herself. To be honest, I wasn't convinced by that. If that happened, why did I see her twice? And why do I always hear movement upstairs? Why am I the one being targeted to see her? And why does her spirit appear to me? There must be something fishy about this. I kept having many nightmares, and the same dream kept repeating. I see this same young woman arguing with her husband. And then it's as if there's a hand pushing her. But then she takes a few steps forward on her own, jumps from the balcony, commits suicide, and dies. The truth, as I interpreted it from this dream, is that she wants to tell me that she did indeed commit suicide. But it was because of her husband's treatment, his actions toward her, and his attitude, which made her feel suffocated and led to her depression. Meaning, she wants to tell me that her husband is the primary reason for her suicide. He didn't kill her directly. He made her take her own life right before his eyes. And that is the reason. I have interpreted from my dreams. But where the truth lies, I don't know. And I don't know if I should move out of this apartment and the whole building, just in case something happens or a problem arises for me, my wife, or my daughters. Or should I just stay where I am and pretend I didn't see anything? Because they themselves didn't see a thing. All these messages were just being sent to us. I am just waiting for your opinions, please. And with that, today's episode and today's experiences come to an end. My friend, you have the right to believe or disbelieve, all or part of the episode. For these are the listeners' experiences, your own stories. I thank writer Amani Walid for scripting the episode in the radio style you just heard. I also thank writer Lisa Zaglu for preparing all the episodes of the General of Horror program. Finally, I thank Mustafa El Masri for the sound effects and music. And I thank you all for listening. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive all that is new. And if you are one of those who like to support me, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. You've been with me, Muhammad Gawali, and the General of Horror program. Peace be upon you.